Howdy folks, this is Chris with Big Guys Hike 2, and today I am explaining my diet that I've been on since I started the Mounjaro 18 weeks ago. I've lost 39 pounds, low calorie diet at 2,000 calories per day, and I eat 2 meals, and then I have a couple things I snack on, and also I have some protein shakes. So for breakfast, it's pretty consistent with a little bit of variety, and I'll explain that as we go here. Okay, once you gather everything up, I go ahead and put some oil in the pan. I either use coconut oil or I can use extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to use the olive oil. I usually use about a tablespoon or less. If you're worried about calories, I wouldn't use it at all. And then you get a bell pepper. I use these mini bell peppers, which are about equal to a fourth of a bell pepper. And I go ahead and take the seeds out, and then go ahead and dice her up into small little pieces. And they say to use the different colors because they have different micronutrients in them, especially the reds. I get them in an assorted pack, so I eat a different color each day. And once it's all chopped up real nice and good, you go ahead and throw that into the pan. And make sure you get everything off the knife. And then I use egg whites from the store. Unfortunately, I didn't get it into the screen of the video, but I use the carton of egg whites. I put it anywhere from a third, which is here, to a half cup. Then I add 3 fresh eggs. I have my own chickens, so my eggs are coming from my backyard, but I put 3 of those in there. If you're wanting lower calories, you don't have to use the 3 eggs. You can use 2 eggs. You can leave the egg whites out, but I'm over 200 pounds and I lift weights, so I need to get in around 200 grams of protein a day, so that's why I use the egg whites. Batter that all up and get it mixed and set it off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and get out some spinach, and I use baby spinach, and I will grab about 2 cups full, which is a pretty hefty handful here. I don't really measure it out. Don't think it really matters with the caloric intake on that, but if you're picky, I guess you could weigh it. And I go ahead and scrunch that up. I dice mine up and chop it up really fine because the stems, when it cooks down, kind of get stringy, and I'm a very texture guy when it comes to eating, so I don't like that stringiness. So I go ahead and chop mine up. Just a side note, I always found it amazing how that much spinach will boil down to hardly anything at all. It's kind of funny. Anyway, chop it all up really good, and then get that all in there. And as you can see, I'm being messy. I got it all over the place, and so I'm going to have to pick all this up. I'm doing this on my island in the middle of my kitchen, and I always make sure my island's cleaned off and wiped down good right before I use it, so I can pick anything up and use it if I spill. Put a little black pepper in there, and then I use Himalayan salt. I have some medication that makes me go to the bathroom quite frequently, so I have issues with my electrolytes, so I definitely put salt on everything and drink electrolytes. So if that's a problem, don't add it. Go ahead and put it on the stove, and I put it on high heat until it starts to sizzle. Once it starts to sizzle, I go ahead and lower the heat. I usually add a little more protein to it. I just added 3 ounces of bison burger to it, which is what we had last night. I can use fish, chicken, whatever. Sometimes I use cheese to add a little fat, or I'll use guacamole. These little packets are great because they're 90 calories and they don't go bad, and they're individually wrapped. I've tried it different ways. It's best for me. Or you can just use an avocado. I cut these in half, and we'll use a half of one. And for seasoning, I use salsa, or I'll use some hot sauce. With the salsa, I usually use that if I'm not using a guacamole.
Watch over here.
Anyway, once you get it on the stove and you heat it up,
I'll turn the heat down.
sizzling now, you go ahead and turn down the heat to medium, and get it all brown. Make sure you burn the
Spinach. As you can see, it's
spinach
spinach.
all, and as you can see, it blends it down pretty low. Batter up the eggs, add that to it, and then just like anything else, you just do scrambled eggs. And once it's all cooked, you go ahead and slide it out and put it into your plate. I like these little bowl plates because it makes it a lot easier. Stuff doesn't fall off the thing. And then you go ahead and you're at guacamole here. And what I do is I go ahead and get it out and then spread it all over the top so that everything gets a little bit of flavor. At first, when you go on diets, I noticed that since I was using a lot of real strong, high-calorie foods, the flavor was a little bland. But then as I was on the diet, it seems that a little bit goes a long way with almost anything. So like cheese, I cut it down, and at first I could barely taste the cheese. Now, very little cheese, and you can really taste the flavor. And the same thing with like guacamole or hot sauce or anything like that.
And there you have it.
And here's me trying a couple bites, showing you how good it is. Believe me, I ate that all up as soon as I stopped filming. I drink mine with a coffee, which helps get things moving. All right, now that you saw what I eat for breakfast, I'm going to go ahead and go over the macros. If you here, you'll see that protein, it was 52 grams of protein, 28 grams of fat, and only 1 gram of carbs, net carbs, and it was around 506 calories. If you look right here, I'll show you the breakdown of each of the ingredients that I put in mine. What's neat is you can play with any of those ingredients and come up with a thing. I've gotten to the point now where I know what 100 grams of fat is. So those are adjustments you can make to add it. You just got to think ahead of time. And what's nice about the way I've been doing it and what my success is, my breakfast, excuse me, is about the same ingredients every time. So I know what I'm going to have first thing in the morning, which is my hungriest time. Which the diet I'm on is a low carb diet because I'm diabetic. So I try to keep it below 35 for the full day. My total calories are 2,000 calories, and then I try to make sure that I get around 185 to 200 grams of protein per day. And if you add up the amount of calories that I get from the carbs and the protein, which are a given every day, that gives me what I'm allowed to have left over in fat, and I go ahead and base my meals on that. With protein, I try not to eat all my protein in one meal, so I do breakfast and dinner, and then I do a protein shake when I get back from the gym, and then I have either a protein bar or sometimes some nuts or seeds to level out there for my snacks. So that's usually what I do, and that gets me all my calories for protein. And almost all my carbohydrates I get from vegetables. If you're interested in any more content, please leave a comment below, and I'll try to add any video that you'd like. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, hit the like button, and if you hit the bell notification, you'll get notified anytime I put out new content. So have a nice day, and remember, plan your hike and hike your plan.